One of the things we've been doing a lot here at Nordic Game is talking to small developers and indie developers, and some of them are like 8 people, some of them are 2 people, and now we're standing here with Nifflas, who's alone and making your latest game, but you already released one game.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about your latest project.
You mean FiNCK?
Yep.
Yeah, basically FiNCK, which is short for Fire Nuclear Crocodile Killer, is kind of a platform game kind of inspired by Super Mario Bros. 2. I wanted to try that approach because I grew up with that game and it's one of the games I really love. But I wanted to try the gameplay mechanics of throwing around objects as part of puzzles instead of just platforming. So I built complicated puzzles around that mechanic instead.
Can you give an example of kind of how that mechanic works in a puzzle?
Well, in one case there's this enemy that jumps and you have to take a bird underneath this enemy so it can push you down and to fly the bird under an obstacle. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's usually using objects together, moving them around and making them interact in certain ways. Sliding an ice block that you should just slide with on top of to reach some place that you can't get to otherwise and stuff like that.
How long have you been working on FiNCK?
4 months, and I have 4 more weeks of development time before it's done. I'm gonna work a bit more on the graphics.
Have you set a firm deadline for yourself before you start, or does anyone else set a deadline for you?
I did set the deadline of mid-May. I actually set a release date that I am gonna overshoot with 1 or 2 weeks, but I'm still pretty close to what I expected in the first place.
What's it like sitting on your own developing a game from scratch?
In one way, I guess it's really peaceful, just sitting there doing things I don't have that much pressure. I don't have other people telling me how things need to be, other than getting some guidelines from playtesting. I really enjoy it, and in my latest game, Zaira, I tried to take the creation process as much outdoors as I could, which means that I photographed real-life things that I added to the game. So it's basically based on, I think I used 800 photographies in the game that I had captured both from northern Sweden and even in Los Angeles and San Francisco on a trip to the US a year ago. So it's just all these different places within a game, which is neat.
How long have you been doing this?
It kind of depends how you count. I guess I finished my first game, my first actual complete game, I'm not sure, it must have been the early 2000s, probably 10 years ago or something like that. 6, 8, something. I've released around 8 bigger games since then, and just a whole bunch of small mini games on my website.
Okay, so how do you plan to reach out on your own website, or do you have other methods of publishing it?
I'm working with Nifflas on a project called knytt, which is basically a game that's going to be for WiiWare.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.